My friends, let me begin by telling you something the world will never tell you. Motivation is a myth. It is an illusion dressed in excitement. It is the sugar that sweetens the soul for a moment, but cannot sustain your purpose for a lifetime. You see, we have built a culture addicted to feeling inspired. We want goosebumps before obedience. We want to feel good before we do good. We wait for a rush before we rise. But let me tell you this truth. Feelings do not create the future. Discipline does. Motivation is a visitor. It knocks on your door when it feels like it. But discipline moves in, unpacks its bags, and takes responsibility for the house. Motivation shows up when the weather is nice. Discipline shows up in the storm. Motivation is born in emotion, but discipline is born in conviction. People often say, I'm just waiting until I feel ready. That's the language of failure. Because destiny never waits for your feelings to catch up. Destiny moves when you decide. You don't wait to feel inspired to walk in purpose. You walk in purpose until your feelings follow. The problem with motivation is that it depends on how you feel. But feelings are like the wind. They shift, they change, they deceive. One day you're on fire, the next day you're empty. One day you want to conquer the world, the next day you can't get out of bed. And so if your obedience to purpose depends on emotion, you will live a life of inconsistency. That is why so many people start but never finish. They begin the year motivated. They start the business, they write the plan, they join the gym, they read the book, but when excitement fades, they fade with it. They mistake enthusiasm for endurance. But purpose requires endurance. Vision demands consistency. Let me say this to you. Motivation reacts to inspiration, but discipline responds to revelation. When you live by motivation, you need someone to push you. But when you live by discipline, you are pulled by purpose. The difference is direction. Motivation is external. It needs a crowd, a quote, a cheerleader. Discipline is internal. It needs a conviction, a standard, a covenant. You can shout, you can clap, you can dance, but until you make a decision to live by principle, nothing changes. Because shouting may stir your emotions, but only structure will change your life. The reason why so many believers, so many dreamers, so many talented people never fulfill their potential is not because they lack motivation, it's because they lack discipline. I've seen motivated people quit halfway. I've seen motivated men burn out. I've seen motivated women give up because the excitement evaporated. But I have never seen a disciplined man fail permanently. He may stumble, but he rises again because discipline anchors him to his purpose. Discipline is not exciting. Discipline is boring. Discipline repeats what works when everyone else is chasing what feels good. Motivation runs on emotion, but discipline runs on decision. Motivation looks for comfort. Discipline seeks growth. Motivation is about pleasure. Discipline is about principle. Let me put it plainly. Motivation is emotional energy. Discipline is spiritual energy. Motivation makes you move. Discipline makes you continue. Motivation starts the race. Discipline finishes it. Motivation is the firework. Discipline is the foundation. One lights up the sky for a moment. The other holds up the building for a lifetime. You cannot build destiny on emotion. You must build it on principle. Because when you live by emotion, you are unpredictable. But when you live by principle, you are unstoppable. The future does not respond to moods. It responds to management. And that is why the most dangerous moment in your life is not when you fail, it's when you stop managing yourself. The greatest enemy of success is not lack of opportunity, it is lack of order. And order begins with discipline. So today, before we talk about your goals, before we talk about your habits, before we talk about your dreams, let's confront the illusion of motivation. Stop chasing feelings. Stop depending on hype. Stop worshiping inspiration. Instead, make a decision, a covenant decision that no matter what you feel, you will show up, you will act, you will obey the principle. Because you are not moved by emotion. You are governed by conviction. Hear me, your future does not care how you feel today. It is waiting for what you do today. Motivation reacts to feeling, but discipline responds to vision. The greatest test of maturity is doing what is right when you don't feel like it. That's why the discipline rise when others rest. They work when others wait. They persist when others pause. because they are not fueled by mood, they are powered by mission. So, my friends, as we begin this journey into mastery, remember this truth. Motivation is temporary, discipline is eternal. If you can choose discipline over excitement, consistency over comfort, conviction over convenience, then the rest of your life will follow order. Because destiny never responds to desire, destiny responds to discipline. Now, let us go deeper. If motivation is a fleeting spark, then what is discipline? Let's define it and understand how it becomes the covenant of consistency that builds your future. My friends, before man can conquer the world, he must first conquer himself. Discipline, therefore, is not punishment, it is government. It is self-rule. It is the law of mastery written in action. Discipline is the bridge between intention and manifestation. It is what carries your dream from the invisible to the visible, from potential to performance, from wish to work. You see, when God gives you a vision, he hides it behind discipline. He tests whether you are qualified to manage what you desire. You may pray for success, but he will not give you success. He will give you structure. Because success is not a miracle, it is management. And management is another name for discipline. So let me define it for you clearly. Discipline is the consistent application of principles that align with purpose. It is the daily decision to do what must be done, whether you feel like it or not, until your behavior becomes your nature. Motivation excites the moment, but discipline establishes the method. Motivation comes from others, discipline comes from within. Discipline is a covenant you make, not with people, not with money, not even with time, but with your future self. When you are disciplined, you are saying to your future, I am coming for you. Wait for me. I will arrive prepared. You are signing a contract with your tomorrow, sealed by the choices you make today. Listen carefully. The undisciplined man is a slave to his emotions. The disciplined man is a ruler of his destiny. The undisciplined woman reacts to her feelings. The disciplined woman responds to her assignment. You cannot lead what you cannot manage, and you cannot manage what you will not discipline. Every great leader is first a governor of self. Before David ruled a nation, he ruled his impulses. Before Joseph managed Egypt, he managed his integrity. Before Daniel influenced kings, he mastered his appetite. Leadership begins with self-government, and self-government is discipline. Many people pray, Lord, give me more. But heaven will never release more to someone who mismanages little. God blesses order, not chaos. He promotes stewardship, not excitement. Discipline is the evidence that you are ready for increase. Think of it this way. Discipline is the fence that protects your purpose. It keeps distractions out and keeps focus in. Without it, even the best seed will die in the wrong soil. That is why success is never about intelligence. It is about integrity. It's not how much you know, it's how much you consistently apply. Let me tell you, discipline is the quiet power of the uncommon. While the world celebrates talent, heaven rewards consistency. Talent may open the door, but only discipline keeps you in the room. Talent gets attention, but discipline earns trust. Talent shines once, but discipline shines daily. Hear me, every great achievement you admire is a result of boring consistency. Every book you love was written word by word. Every empire you envy was built brick by brick. Every masterpiece was painted stroke by stroke. Discipline is repetition with revelation, doing what works until what works works for you. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about direction. It is the art of showing up even when your emotions are absent. It is obedience in the ordinary that prepares you for the extraordinary. And discipline is not cruel, it is compassionate. It protects you from the chaos of impulse. It guards your focus. It saves you from regret. It gives you the gift of freedom, because freedom is not doing whatever you want, it's having control over yourself. When you are disciplined, you can tell your body what to do and it obeys. You can tell your mind what to think and it aligns. You can tell your emotions how to feel and they submit. That is true authority, authority over self. So let me say this. Discipline is the covenant of consistency. It is a sacred partnership between your purpose and your practice. It says, I will not break faith with my future. When you honor discipline, you honor destiny. Because discipline is the foundation upon which destiny is built. Everything you want, everything you pray for, everything you are designed to become, it all waits behind one gate, and that gate is self-discipline. Now, my friends, once you understand what discipline truly is, you can no longer treat it as an option. It becomes sacred time, sacred duty, sacred stewardship. That's why in this journey, we will not chase motivation, we will build a ritual, a daily covenant that keeps you accountable to your destiny. Let us now move forward to the practice that transforms this principle into power. Let's talk about the 15-minute covenant, a ritual for rulership. My friends, once you understand that discipline is the bridge between your purpose and your performance, you must now learn how to build that bridge daily. Discipline is not something you have, it is something you practice. It must be renewed, reinforced, and remembered every day. That is why I call it a covenant, not a routine. A routine is what you do out of habit. A covenant is what you do out of honor. Discipline must never become mechanical. It must remain meaningful. Every day that you wake up, you are standing at a crossroads between distraction and destiny. And the decision you make in those first moments will determine the direction of your entire day. So I want to introduce to you what I call the 15-minute covenant. It is a sacred meeting with your future. It is the daily throne room of decision. 15 minutes, that's all. Yet those 15 minutes can recalibrate the course of your entire life. Because when you learn to rule your morning, you learn to rule your world. Let me show you how. The first 5 minutes are for reflection. These are the moments when you align your heart with your purpose. Before you look at a phone, before you answer a message, before you check a schedule, you sit still and remind yourself who you are. Read your vision aloud. Remind your soul of your assignment. Ask yourself, why am I alive today? Reflection anchors your identity before the noise of the world tries to define it for you. Then comes the next 5 minutes declaration. This is where you speak to your mind and command your day. Remember this, words are spiritual containers. They carry creative power. You don't just hope for change, you declare it. You don't just think focus, you speak focus. You say aloud, I am disciplined, I am focused, I am faithful. My mind serves my vision. My body obeys my purpose. My day is ordered by wisdom. You see, what you declare creates atmosphere. The world you see outside is a reflection of the world you build inside. When you speak with conviction, you establish order in your environment because your words are the seeds of your future, and what you sow in declaration, you will reap in manifestation. Finally, the last 5 minutes, commitment. This is where reflection becomes action. You take one small specific step aligned with your purpose. Maybe it's writing one paragraph of that book. Maybe it's one call you've delayed. Maybe it's one healthy choice for your body. Don't chase many things. Choose one thing and do it with all your heart. The power of discipline is in focus, not volume. 15 minutes, reflection, declaration, commitment. That's it. Do it every day, same time, same place, same order, because repetition creates rhythm, and rhythm creates reality. You might say, Dr. Munroe, can 15 minutes really change my life? Yes. Because success doesn't come from how much you do once, it comes from what you do repeatedly. A small habit practiced daily becomes a mighty force over time. The world honors the spectacular, but heaven rewards the consistent. Remember this principle, whatever you do daily, you become permanently. That's why the undisciplined are constantly changing direction, because they have no daily anchor. But the disciplined remain steady because their actions are rooted in routine, and their routine is rooted in revelation. Let me tell you something powerful. 15 minutes of divine order every morning can redeem 15 hours of chaos later. Because when you begin your day with purpose, everything else aligns under it. When you start in control of your thoughts, you finish in control of your results. This covenant is not about time, it's about transformation. It's not about minutes, it's about mastery. Those 15 minutes are your daily throne of dominion. It's where you tell your mind who's in charge. It's where you remind your emotions that they are servants, not kings. It's where you choose principle over pressure. And as you keep that covenant day after day, something miraculous happens. The ritual becomes rhythm. The rhythm becomes reflex. The reflex becomes nature. Until one day, discipline no longer feels like effort. It feels like essence. You won't have to push yourself anymore. You will be pulled by your purpose. Do you see it now? Discipline is not a prison. It's a pathway. It's not bondage, it's alignment. It's not loss of freedom. It's the discovery of true freedom. Because when you are disciplined, you no longer chase life. Life begins to follow your order. So my friends, begin tomorrow morning. Don't wait for motivation to come. Don't wait for the right feeling. Make your appointment with your future 15 minutes a day. And when you do, heaven will take notice. Because consistency commands attention even from God himself. For as surely as the sun rises, the person who honors time, who honors order, who honors principle will rise with it. Now, once you begin this covenant, you will quickly realize something. The greatest challenge will not be time. The greatest challenge will be your own thoughts, the war within your mind that tries to pull you back into distraction. And that, my friends, brings us to the next revelation, the inner war training, the mind for obedience. My friends, after you make a covenant with your future, you will soon discover that your greatest battle is not with time, not with people, not with opportunity. It is with your own mind. The battlefield of life is not out there. It is in here, between your ears, beneath your thoughts, inside your imagination. The mind is the soil of destiny, and whatever you allow to grow there will eventually show in your life. Every human being fights this silent war, the war between discipline and desire, between purpose and pleasure, between what you know is right and what feels easy. That war doesn't stop when you make a decision. It begins there. You see, the moment you decide to discipline your life, your mind begins to resist you. It whispers. Just once won't hurt. It says you can do it later. It reasons, it negotiates, it excuses, because the mind loves comfort more than change. But hear me, if you do not train your mind to obey your purpose, your emotions will betray your destiny. You must rule your thoughts or they will rule you. That's why the scripture says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not the removal of your mind, but the renewing of it. Renewal is training. Renewal is repetition. Renewal is discipline. Your mind is not your master, it is your servant. And like any servant, it must be trained. You train the mind through repetition, through focus, through meditation, through truth. You must teach your thoughts to obey the laws of your purpose. Let me tell you something powerful. Your body follows your mind follows your belief, and your belief follows your purpose. If your purpose is weak, your belief will waver. If your belief wavers, your mind will wander. And when your mind wanders, your body will waste its energy on distractions. So the first assignment of a disciplined life is to bring your mind under submission to your purpose. That means you must choose your thoughts the way a king chooses his counselors carefully. You must interrogate every thought that enters your mind and ask, who sent you? If it comes from fear, dismiss it. If it comes from doubt, silence it. If it comes from regret, replace it. If it comes from purpose, nourish it. Because the mind is a garden and your thoughts are seeds. If you allow weeds of negativity to grow, they will choke the flowers of your vision. But if you sow seeds of faith, courage, and focus, you will reap a harvest of progress. Discipline begins in the soil of thought. Before you can control your habits, you must control your thinking. Before you can master your behavior, you must master your beliefs. Every action is born from an idea, and every idea comes from an atmosphere. That's why you must guard your mental atmosphere. Do not expose your mind to voices that poison your vision. Do not feed your thoughts with fear disguised as entertainment. Do not allow toxic people to rent space in your head without paying rent in peace. You become the product of what you repeatedly ponder. Hear me, the mind is like a river. It will flow wherever the terrain directs it. Discipline is building the banks that guide that flow toward purpose. Without those banks, your thoughts overflow into chaos and confusion. That is why the disciplined man speaks to his mind daily. He tells it what to think. He doesn't wait for inspiration. He commands focus. He practices mental alignment. He meditates on purpose until his emotions obey his mission. Let me illustrate this for you. When an athlete trains, he doesn't wait until the race to discipline his body. He trains it when no one is watching. He repeats movements until they become instinct. Likewise, you must train your thoughts when no one sees you. Discipline your mind in private, and it will obey you in public. When fear comes, you say, you have no authority here. When doubt comes, you say, you are not my truth. When distraction comes, you say, I am about my Father's business. Because the disciplined mind does not react, it responds. It is calm under pressure, clear under conflict, consistent under criticism. Do you know what maturity is? Maturity is when your emotions submit to your purpose. Immaturity is when your purpose submits to your emotions. When you reach the point where your peace is not disturbed by panic, your growth has begun. So I challenge you today, train your mind for obedience. Don't let your thoughts drift like a leaf in the wind. Direct them like an arrow toward destiny. Every morning during that 15-minute covenant, bring your thoughts into alignment. Remind your mind that it serves your purpose. Say to yourself, my mind is my servant, not my master. My thoughts are tools, not rulers. My emotions obey my assignment. And when you begin to think like this, you will notice something extraordinary. Clarity will return. Focus will sharpen. Peace will become your normal. You will stop reacting to life and start directing it. Because victory does not begin when your circumstances change. Victory begins when your thinking changes. The mind must become your ally, not your adversary. For once your thoughts are trained to obey your purpose, your life will begin to reflect the order of heaven. Now that we have learned that discipline begins with the mastery of thought, let us move to the next stage of this journey, how disciplined thinking grows into habitual integrity, and how habit turns consistency into character. My friends, when the mind has been trained to obey purpose, the next step is to anchor that obedience in habit. Because discipline without habit is temporary, but discipline that becomes habit is transformation. You see, every great destiny is built on the foundation of small disciplines practiced daily until they become automatic. Habit is discipline made permanent. It is the rhythm of consistency that keeps your life in order even when your emotions fluctuate. Let me tell you something powerful. You do not rise to the level of your intention. You fall to the level of your habit. You may intend to be excellent, but if your habits are lazy, your results will reflect that. You may dream of greatness, but if your habits are inconsistent, your potential will remain a theory, not a testimony. That's why I call habit the guardian of destiny. It protects you from the weakness of emotion. Motivation says, do it when you feel like it. Habit says, do it because it's who I am. Discipline trains you to do something. Habit transforms you into someone. When an action becomes a habit, it stops requiring effort and starts expressing identity. The disciplined person no longer struggles to be focused. Focus becomes their nature. They no longer fight to stay consistent. Consistency becomes their character. So hear me today. Discipline produces behavior. Habit produces character. And character is what heaven rewards. You see, God is not impressed by flashes of effort. He is moved by patterns of integrity. He looks for faithfulness, not just faith. Because faith can believe once, but faithfulness believes every day. Habitual integrity means living in such a way that your actions repeat your convictions even when no one is watching. Integrity means wholeness, being the same person in private as you are in public. It means your behavior is aligned with your belief. Your actions are aligned with your assignment. Your life is consistent with your principles. And that consistency, my friends, is not accidental. It is built one small discipline at a time, repeated until it becomes your second nature. Let me explain something. Your habits are building your future silently. While others are chasing opportunity, your habits are preparing you for it. While others are praying for promotion, your habits are qualifying you for it. While others are hoping for breakthrough, your habits are guaranteeing it. That is why you must be intentional about what you repeat. because repetition is rehearsal for reality. What you practice, you perfect. What you perfect, you become. Every habit is a seed, and every seed grows into a harvest. If you plant the habit of procrastination, you will reap the harvest of regret. If you plant the habit of excellence, you will reap the harvest of opportunity. If you plant the habit of prayer, you will reap the harvest of peace. So I ask you today, what are you rehearsing? What are you training your life to become? Because you are not just forming habits, your habits are forming you. Discipline says, I will do it today. Habit says, this is who I am every day. Discipline chooses, habit continues. Discipline begins the path, habit paves it. When you make discipline habitual, success becomes inevitable. But how does one build such habits? Let me show you 3 principles that govern habitual integrity. First, start small, but stay consistent. Greatness doesn't come from massive effort once. It comes from small effort daily. Don't underestimate the power of doing one thing faithfully. A single disciplined action repeated enough becomes unstoppable momentum. Second, connect every habit to purpose. If your habit doesn't serve your vision, it will not survive your emotions. You cannot sustain what doesn't have meaning. Every habit must answer the question, why does this matter to my assignment? Third, measure progress, not perfection. Habits are not built overnight. They are forged through patience. Falling is not failure. Staying down is. Even when you miss a day, return to your rhythm, because habit is strengthened not by perfection, but by persistence. And when persistence becomes pattern, you will begin to feel a shift. You'll notice that what once required effort now flows with ease. What used to feel heavy now feels natural. That's when you know integrity has taken root. You will no longer chase discipline. You will embody it. You won't have to remind yourself to act with excellence. You will find that excellence has become instinct. That, my friends, is habitual integrity, when your behavior is so aligned with your belief that compromise feels foreign. And I tell you this, once you reach that stage, life begins to multiply. Opportunities find you, people trust you, heaven endorses you, because integrity is heaven's language and habit is its translation on earth. But there is something that constantly tries to break this pattern, something that wars against your consistency. Even the most disciplined minds can be seduced by it. It is subtle, attractive, and deadly. It is the greatest thief of focus in this generation. And that enemy, my friends, is distraction and comfort. Let us now go there. Let's unmask the invisible forces that destroy discipline so we can guard what we built. My friends, once you begin to walk in discipline, once you build the habits that honor your destiny, the enemy will not attack you with weakness. He will attack you with distraction. He will not always tempt you with failure. He will tempt you with comfort. Distraction and comfort are the 2 silent assassins of destiny. They do not destroy your life in a moment. They drain it over time. They are not loud like failure. They whisper. They do not scream, stop growing. They say, you deserve a break. Listen carefully. The most dangerous thing for a disciplined person is not opposition, it is comfort. Because when you are uncomfortable, you pray. When you are in pressure, you plan. When you are challenged, you grow. But when you are comfortable, you relax your guard. You start to drift. And drifting is more dangerous than running in the wrong direction, because drifting feels peaceful while leading you to disaster. The undisciplined man is not destroyed by sin. He is destroyed by softness. The undisciplined woman does not fall because she lacks talent. She falls because she loves convenience more than commitment. Distraction is the enemy's most effective weapon because it doesn't look like a weapon. It looks like opportunity. It looks like entertainment. It looks like comfort. It looks like harmless rest. But what it really does is divide your focus, dilute your energy, and derail your purpose. Hear me, every time you say yes to distraction, you say no to destiny. Every notification, every meaningless argument, every indulgent escape is a thief dressed as relief. The enemy knows he cannot steal your gift, so he steals your attention. You can't be productive if you're perpetually distracted. You can't be consistent if your focus keeps changing direction. You can't build a monument with a wandering mind. That's why discipline demands separation. It demands focus. It demands boundaries. When God calls you to purpose, he always calls you away from noise. Moses met God on a mountain, not in the crowd. Jesus often withdrew to a quiet place, not to isolation, but to concentration. Because silence is not loneliness, it is alignment. The secret of greatness is not found in busyness, it is found in focus. Let me say it again. The world rewards focus, not effort. It is not the man who does everything who succeeds, it is the man who does the right thing consistently. You may be busy and still barren, active and still unproductive, because busyness is not purpose, it is distraction in disguise. So guard your time, guard your space, guard your mind. Don't let the trivial rob you of the transformational. Don't let entertainment rob you of enlightenment. Don't let convenience cancel your commitment. Some of you are not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're doing too much that doesn't matter. Your energy is not gone, it's divided. Your fire's not dead, it's distracted. You need to realign your focus. You need to simplify your environment until only what serves your purpose remains. Because everything that doesn't help you is quietly hindering you. Discipline requires pruning. You cannot carry every friendship, every habit, every hobby, and still expect to reach greatness. Some things must die so your purpose can live. That's not cruelty, that's maturity. Comfort is the second assassin. Comfort says you've done enough. Comfort says take it easy. Comfort says tomorrow will be better. But tomorrow only belongs to those who respect today. Comfort convinces you to celebrate too soon. It teaches you to mistake progress for completion. It tells you to rest when you should still be running. It replaces hunger with pride and vision with satisfaction. Let me warn you, comfort is a counterfeit version of peace. Peace is what you get when your soul is aligned with purpose. Comfort is what you get when your flesh is avoiding pressure. Peace strengthens, comfort sedates. The reason many people never fulfill their potential is not because they failed, it's because they settled. They found a safe place and called it success. They stopped climbing because the view was good enough. But purpose will never let you stay satisfied with good enough. Purpose always calls you higher. So today, I challenge you, be allergic to distraction and intolerant of comfort. Because every destiny requires discomfort. Every calling demands conflict. Every crown comes with a cross. You cannot grow without resistance. The gym of greatness is adversity. Pressure is the price of progress. Pain is the birthplace of purpose. When you feel discomfort, don't run, refine it, don't escape it, embrace it, because discomfort is the soil where discipline strengthens its roots. When you discipline yourself to stay focused amid distraction, when you choose growth over comfort, you are training your spirit for rulership. You are preparing to govern yourself in a world that cannot govern its impulses. But hear this truth, even as you fight distraction and resist comfort, you will need principles to keep your discipline alive, unshaken, unbroken, unstoppable. Because success doesn't survive on passion alone, it survives on law. And so, my friends, let us now move to the next revelation, the 3 laws of lasting discipline. These laws will preserve your focus, strengthen your consistency, and sustain your purpose when feelings fade and comfort calls your name. My friends, every system that survives is built on law. Without law, there is chaos. Without structure, there is collapse. Without order, there is waste. And discipline, true lasting discipline, must also stand upon law. You see, feelings fade, motivation fails, emotions fluctuate, but law remains. When you live by law, you no longer need inspiration to do what is right. You simply obey the structure that guarantees your success. Because principles protect purpose, and purpose without principles will perish. Let me share with you what I call the 3 laws of lasting discipline. They are not rules to restrict you, they are foundations that sustain you. If you live by them, you will not need constant reminders because order will live inside of you. Law 1, the law of vision clarity creates consistency. Discipline dies when purpose is unclear. You cannot be disciplined without direction. A man without vision will waste energy chasing everything and mastering nothing. That's why the first law of discipline is vision. You must know what you are building. You must see it clearly before you can commit to it fully. Because unclear goals produce inconsistent behavior. When you don't know where you're going, everything becomes an option, and every option becomes a distraction. But when you see your destination clearly, every decision either serves it or sabotages it. Vision simplifies life. It tells you what to say yes to and what to refuse. The disciplined person wakes up every day with sight, not with sight from their eyes, but with sight from their mind. Sight sees what is. Vision sees what can be. Sight shows you problems. Vision shows you purpose. And when purpose is clear, discipline becomes automatic. You no longer ask, do I feel like it? You ask, does this align with my vision? My friend, hear me. When purpose is unknown, discipline feels like punishment. But when purpose is known, discipline becomes pleasure. That's the first law. Keep your vision before you daily. Because the moment you lose sight, you lose strength. Law 2, the law of focus energy follows attention. Whatever you magnify multiplies. The second law of discipline is focus. Your attention is the currency of your destiny. Wherever you spend it, you invest your future. Focus is power. Focus converts potential into progress. A laser can cut through steel because all its light is concentrated in one place. Likewise, a man or woman whose focus is fixed can achieve what the distracted cannot even imagine. You cannot be effective while being everywhere. You cannot produce excellence while multitasking mediocrity. The disciplined life chooses concentration over confusion. You must protect your focus the way a soldier protects his weapon, because once you lose focus, you lose direction. And when you lose direction, you lose destiny. That's why the disciplined person learns to say no. Focus is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. Success is not about expansion. It's about elimination. Don't pray for more time. Pray for more focus. Because time is wasted when energy is scattered. When your attention is united, your results will multiply. The second law is simple but powerful. Whatever holds your attention shapes your life. So fix your focus on your purpose, and everything else will fall into place. Law 3, the law of accountability, structure, sustains strength. The third law is accountability. Discipline without accountability is fragile. It begins strong but ends shallow. You can inspire yourself for a season, but you need structure to sustain your standard. Accountability means you give your actions a witness. You make your commitment visible. You create systems that protect your consistency. In the kingdom of purpose, there is no growth without order. Even God works through systems. He created seasons, cycles, laws of nature, and all of them guarantee stability. If creation itself obeys law, how much more should you? Accountability is not control, it is confirmation. It confirms your seriousness. It tells heaven, I can be trusted with increase. You can be accountable to a mentor, to a partner, to your journal, to your own reflection in the morning mirror, but there must be something outside your emotions that holds you steady. Because feelings fluctuate, but structure is faithful. When you are tired, your system keeps you. When you are discouraged, your system sustains you. When motivation fades, your structure speaks. We don't stop here. This is the secret of mastery, external order that reinforces internal conviction. The third law, therefore, is this. Every dream requires a system. If you don't organize your life will organize you, and it will always choose the path of least resistance. So build systems that honor your purpose. Schedule your priorities. Record your progress. Guard your habits. Reward your consistency. That is how discipline becomes destiny. Now, when these three laws, vision, focus, and accountability, operate together, discipline no longer feels like effort. It becomes the architecture of your success. You no longer depend on excitement to move forward. Structure moves you. That's why I often say principles are stronger than passion. Passion is emotional fuel. Principles are eternal foundations. Passion burns out. principles build up. So let me summarize. The law of vision gives you direction. The law of focus gives you energy. The law of accountability gives you structure. Direction, energy, structure. These three secure your discipline when your emotions fail you. When you live by law, you rise above limitation. When you live by principle, you transcend pressure. When you live by structure, success becomes sustainable. Because law produces liberty. Freedom is not the absence of rules, it is the mastery of them. And that leads us into the next revelation. When you master these laws, you graduate from discipline into dominion. You move from self-control to self-command. You begin to influence not only your life, but your environment. Let us now talk about what happens when discipline matures, when you no longer just manage yourself, but begin to govern your world. My friends, when discipline matures, it produces something greater, dominion. Because the purpose of discipline is not control for its own sake, it is rulership. The end of self-control is self-command. The reward of order is authority. You see, dominion was God's original mandate for mankind. Let them have dominion. He said, not over people, not over each other, but over creation, over environment, and above all, over self. For you cannot govern the world around you until you first govern the world within you. Discipline is the training ground of dominion. Before God can trust you to lead others, he will test whether you can lead yourself. Before you command circumstances, you must command your character. Before you manage resources, you must manage routine. That is why I always say leadership begins with self-government. If you cannot govern your appetite, you will not govern your assignment. If you cannot manage your time, you will mismanage your opportunities. If you cannot master your emotions, you will be mastered by them. Dominion is not about domination, it is about mastery. It is not about ruling people, it is about ruling principles. Dominion is authority born from alignment. When your life aligns with divine order, heaven trusts you with earthly influence. Now, let me show you how discipline graduates into dominion. Discipline begins with obedience. You do what is right because it is right. Then it becomes habit. You keep doing it until it becomes natural. And when habit becomes character, you have reached mastery, the state where excellence flows without effort. Mastery is when you no longer have to push yourself to act with integrity. Integrity becomes instinct. It is when your emotions, your body, your mind, and your decisions are synchronized under one authority, your purpose. When a man reaches mastery, his environment begins to respond to him. Opportunities recognize him. People respect him. Systems obey him because discipline has elevated him to dominion. Let me explain this. When you discipline your mind, you gain clarity. When you discipline your body, you gain strength. When you discipline your time, you gain productivity. And when you discipline your spirit, you gain authority. That authority is dominion. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are no longer tossed by emotion or enslaved by circumstance. You stand in control, calm in chaos, steady under pressure, clear amid confusion. The undisciplined are controlled by the world. The disciplined control their world. The undisciplined react to life. The disciplined design life. The undisciplined complain about storms. The disciplined learn to sail through them. That is dominion, not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of response. And understand this truth. Dominion is not given, it is grown. You cannot pray your way into mastery, you must practice your way into it. Prayer gives you power, but discipline gives that power direction. Every great leader you admire, whether Joseph in Egypt, Daniel in Babylon, Paul in prison, or Jesus himself, lived by this principle. Self-mastery before world mastery. They rule their minds before they rule nations. They discipline their habits before they influence history. The spirit of mastery is a quiet power. It doesn't boast. It performs. It doesn't react. It responds. It doesn't seek attention. It earns authority. People who carry dominion don't chase recognition. Recognition finds them. When you live by principle long enough, your presence carries power. You begin to walk in rooms differently. You speak with weight. You move with grace. because order has replaced chaos in your soul and people can sense it. That is what it means to reign in life, to live not as a victim of circumstance, but as a steward of purpose, to respond to pressure with peace, to meet conflict with clarity, to face challenge with composure. You see, discipline is not about restriction, it's about responsibility. When you rule yourself, you gain the right to rule more. When you master your own life, you qualify to manage greater life. Heaven promotes order. Promotion always follows control. If you can control a little, God will trust you with much. If you can manage yourself, God will allow you to manage influence. That's why dominion is not a gift of favoritism. It is a reward of faithfulness. Faithfulness in thought, faithfulness in focus, faithfulness in daily obedience. And when discipline matures into dominion, something powerful happens. You no longer live by reaction, you live by design. You don't wake up wondering what will happen, you wake up commanding what will happen. You no longer say, I hope today is good. You say, I will make today fruitful. Dominion gives you calm authority. You lead your emotions instead of following them. You command your day instead of chasing it. You influence your world instead of complaining about it. And hear me, this is not pride. This is purpose fulfilled. Because a disciplined life is not for ego, it is for impact. The ultimate goal of discipline is to empower you to serve others with excellence. Dominion is stewardship, not superiority. It is managing yourself so that you can lead others into freedom. That is why true leaders are never tyrants. They are servants who have mastered themselves first. For the highest level of power is not control over others, it is control over self. When you live this way, peace becomes your companion, confidence your armor, and consistency your crown. You become dependable, and the dependable are always desirable in the marketplace of destiny. My friends, that is the spirit of mastery, discipline, matured into dominion. And once you taste dominion, you will never desire comfort again, because comfort offers you pleasure, but dominion offers you power. Now that you understand that discipline leads to dominion, we must redefine what freedom truly means. For the world has confused liberty with laziness. Let us now explore how discipline is not bondage, but the birthplace of freedom. My friends, now that you understand that discipline leads to dominion, let us bring this journey to its completion, because there is one final revelation you must grasp. Discipline is not bondage. Discipline is freedom. You see, the world has lied to you. The world says freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. But that is not freedom. That is chaos wearing a mask. True freedom is not the absence of boundaries. It is the mastery of them. The man without discipline is not free. He is a slave to impulse. The woman without order is not liberated. She is trapped by emotion. Freedom without control is destruction waiting for opportunity. But a disciplined man walks in authority. He is not pulled by trends or tossed by temptation. He decides what to think, what to say, what to do, and that is liberty. He doesn't wait for permission to act. He already has purpose as his compass. He doesn't need applause to continue. Conviction sustains him. That is freedom. Listen carefully. Discipline does not restrict your life. It refines it. It filters what matters. It cuts away excess. It gives focus to your fire. And when your fire is focused, it burns brighter and lasts longer. The undisciplined life looks free, but is full of frustration. The disciplined life looks structured, but is full of peace. Because peace is the child of order. Chaos breeds anxiety. Structure breeds serenity. True success is not abundance without order. It is abundance with stewardship. To have much without control is to live in danger. But to have mastery with meaning, that is prosperity of the soul. The disciplined person lives with clarity, not confusion. They move by intention, not reaction. They live by principle, not pressure. And that is the highest form of freedom, to be unmoved by the noise of the world, because you are anchored in the voice of purpose. Do you remember what I said earlier? Motivation is emotional energy. Discipline is spiritual energy. Dominion is divine energy. And freedom is the harmony of all three emotions: discipline by spirit, action directed by principle, and life aligned with purpose. My friend, success is not measured by what you gain. It is measured by what you can manage. It's not how much you achieve, but how much of yourself you control while achieving it. If your progress costs you your peace, it is not success, it is slavery in disguise. That's why discipline is not harsh, it is healing. It saves you from your lower nature and summons your higher self. It silences the noise and amplifies your purpose. You can never be truly free until you can tell yourself no and mean it. Freedom is the ability to choose restraint when temptation knocks. Freedom is the power to delay gratification for the sake of destiny. Freedom is the authority to say, I will not be ruled by what I feel, I will be led by what I know. And when you live like that, life itself begins to respond to you differently. Doors open that others can't see. Opportunities appear that chaos cannot perceive, because heaven recognizes order. Heaven invests in management. Heaven multiplies stewardship. So hear me as I close. Discipline is the foundation of divine trust. When you are disciplined, God can depend on you. He can release ideas through you because he knows you'll execute them. He can bless you with influence because he knows you won't abuse it. He can increase your resources because he knows you'll manage them well. Freedom without discipline leads to downfall, but discipline with freedom leads to destiny. And so I declare to you today, your future is waiting for the disciplined version of you, not the emotional you, not the distracted you, not the comfortable you, but the focused, faithful, consistent you, the one who has made a covenant with purpose. Do not run from discipline. Embrace it, love it, live it, because discipline is not your enemy, it is your emancipation. It frees you from regret. It frees you from waste. It frees you from fear. It makes you dependable. It makes you fruitful. It makes you powerful. The disciplined rise while others rest. The disciplined finish what others start. The disciplined become rulers while others remain reactors. And the disciplined, my friends, live free, truly free. So as you leave this message, remember this law of life. Discipline births order. Order births peace. Peace births power. And power births freedom. This is the cycle of mastery. This is the rhythm of dominion. The same power that created the universe operates by this law. Consistent, structured, faithful. And that same power lives in you. You were not created to drift. You were created to direct. You were not designed to react. You were designed to reign. Discipline is your crown of maturity. Wear it with pride. It is your badge of leadership. Guard it with diligence. And it is your key to freedom. Use it daily. Because the moment you choose discipline over desire, order over emotion, purpose over pleasure, that is the moment you step into true liberty. And I pray that from this day forward, you will not live by how you feel, but by what you are called to be. That you will not be ruled by impulse, but guided by principle. That you will not chase freedom, but become freedom through the power of disciplined living. For the disciplined shall inherit peace. The disciplined shall build legacy. And the disciplined shall reign in life. So go now, build your life by law, live by order, walk by principle, and rule by discipline. And when the world looks at you, they will see not a slave of motivation, but a master of destiny.